Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I'm going to be going over the final preparation tips for BWL and ZG launch. So it is going to be launching today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is going to be the full Phase 5 rating experience. And while that is pretty awesome, there's going to be quite a few things that you want to make sure that you have done for your checklist, as well as some min-maxy tips that will be available for you in order to make it go as smooth as possible, especially if you're not rating right at launch. But before we get into the video, I am going to be streaming the Sod Saviors and myself rating Thunderin, BWL, and ZG at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/Kaghoe Gaming. So if you want to come by, check it out, and watch me raid live and, ask questions and just sort of see how I handle the raid and everything we do, come stop by. It's always an awesome, fun time and a really cool experience to be doing the new raids. And you guys can sort of see us, learn, discover, and struggle and all the fun stuff that comes with raiding. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. So the number one thing that you need to make sure you have, and I have harped on this in every preparation guide I have told you, is have an Onyxia scale cloak. You are going to need this for all of the dragons within BWL to protect yourself from the shadow flame. I would almost make sure that it is mandatory that you have it on, because you want to make sure that you do not get breath, especially if you're risking world buffs on fights. One thing could go wrong, and then the breath could get pointed at the raid and you could die. Even as a ranged DPS, I will probably put on my Oni cape for prog and making sure that we are all, wearing it, not min-maxing to a degree that, gets us killed, and then we lose all of our buffs, and then it makes the entire night way, way more difficult. So make sure you have your Onyxia scale cape. You are going to need these. Then, same as Molten Core, consumes, enchants, all that fun stuff are relatively going to be the same. The new oils are going to be out in ZG, but I'll talk about that later. But other than that, the only thing that you can bring other than that you haven't been bringing to MC is a Greater Shadow Protection Potion. I would highly recommend that you still bring Resto Pots and all of your DPS consumables as well, but Resto Pots are going to be huge as well, because for Cro-Magnus there are some decurses and magic things that you'll need, and it'll help you out a ton. But Greater Shadow Protection Pots is another one, just to help mitigate that Shadow Flame damage that they all do. And it could, save your life, and it is relatively cheap. Now, the next thing is to make sure you get world buffs. I'm actually flying to Camp Mohage to go get my Dire Maul world buffs, but make sure you have them all. And an important thing to note is with ZG opening at 4 p.m. Eastern, people will be doing it right at launch, and they will be getting those Hearts of Hakar. So I would recommend being at Booty Bay around an hour after launch or so. You can go to Booty Bay or Yojamba, but you will be able to get your Heart of Hakar buff as well. So very important that you make sure that you go out there and do that, because it'll be a pretty huge buff. It gives you 15% more stats, and it'll make you run faster as well. So those two things are going to be very, very important, and make sure that you are able to get that Heart of Hakar buff. If you are not rating right at launch, it can be huge for your progression and stuff. Then the next tip I have is make sure you do some research on the fights. They changed a lot of the fights, as well as there are some new aspects that have been added. Jordy actually has a really, really good guide on BWL and all of the new stuff that has been added to BWL. So I would highly recommend you go and check out that channel for the fight breakdown guide. I've watched it and I thought it was a really good explanation, and it will help you out a ton. So that's the one I'm recommending. But just read up on the aspects, read up on some mechanics, read up on all the fights that you can, so that you are prepared and you go in there knowing what abilities are going to come. The strategies might change quite a bit, but all in all, you should be able to learn what you need to do and execute it way easier without, struggling. Then the next tip I have is that ZG crafts from the Zandalar Tribe are actually going to be possible as soon as they become available at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You might be wondering, how the heck are people going to go from neutral to exalted? They aren't. in Season of Discovery, due to the Sunken Temple Phase 3 raid, those turn-ins gave you reputation with the Zandalar Tribe. Now, it is changed and fixed now, so you can no longer do this. However, your reps stayed the same. So, as you can see from just turning in Jungle Durin, I have gotten 1,785 rep into the Zandalar Tribe. And why is that important? Well, if we take a look here and we go to the factions and the Zandalar Tribe, as you can see at friendly, you can get Brilliant Mana Oil, which is the healing oil, as well as you can get things like Bloodvine Boots, and all the other patterns that are able to craft. But the most important one is Brilliant Mana Oil, and then at Honored you can get the Brilliant Wizard Oil. So Honored is achievable if people really went hard with the Jungle Durin and bought a lot of those mats and turned them all in, as well as Major Troll Blood is a upgraded consume, and then the Bloodvine leggings, of course, are a nice piece of gear that you can slap on as well. So all of those things are really useful and very nice to acquire, and they will be obtainable when it turns on, because I did go decently hard at turning it in, but I did not go as hard as I possibly could and invest thousands and thousands of gold into it. However, there are definitely players that did this, and they will be ready to craft your stuff the moment it comes out. So be on the lookout for that Brilliant Mana Wizard Oil and the Brilliant Mana Oil. Those are going to be the big ones. Revered and Exalted are kind of out of reach, but maybe Revered is possible if someone went really hard and deep into Honored, and they can get those Mage Blood potions, which are nice as well. But it's just something to be aware of and note that you can get them. And then obviously Zanzas will be available, which can be very nice, because that 50 Spirit, 50 Sam is a good one as well. And then the moving 20% Zanza is also really good. So these Zanzas are nice and, you know, big consumes, and in SOD they might have even changed the Zanzas. So that's the breakdown of rep, but I just wanted you guys to make sure that you're aware that these recipes are actually available the moment it comes out, because people went so hard in Phase 3 to make sure that they were able to get this Zandalar Tribe Rep. However, they did change it to Emerald Warden reps nowadays, so you can no longer sort of do this to boost your reps. So I want to be very clear that this is no longer possible. However, if you were able to get it done early, you can get the stuff right now. But anyway, guys, that is it for my guide, my breakdown on these final preparation tips that you can do for ZG and BWL. I truly hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, you think I missed anything, definitely drop it down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you and engage with those conversations. But I'm super stoked for BWL and ZG launch. I think it's going to be a really fun night tonight, and I can't wait to experience it with you all. So hope you stop by, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.